the last 10 days, I done made like 100,000 just flipping paper basically.
Wait. You saying the last 10 days?
10 days, yeah, last 10 days.
Wait. You mean like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah.
7,
Whole
8, 9,
salary.
10
days.
Whole selling.
Yeah.
Never moved into the home. Just
Never even purchased the home.
I didn't bring no money out of my pocket. I'm talking all profit.
And you made $100,000.
All profit.
All profit.
Yeah.
And you said, and he never owned a home.
Never.
Never seen it.
Never saw the home.
No gross, all that.
So we got black men at the table who have built something, and you're continuing to build something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Have y'all actually asked yourself what's y'all net worth between just y'all three?
We didn't.
Yeah, we haven't. We didn't.
That's a great question.
Let's just do that.
We did do something on our way here though.
What's that?
We were seeing how much money we didn't, all made
30
together the
days?
last 30 days. It was about 300,000.
300,000.
The last
Y'all
30
made
days.
$300,000.
Yeah.
Within the last 30 between you three.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
$300,000
Yep.
between y'all three
Yes, sir.
in less than 1 month.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's start here.
This is a different circle right here, man. I bought 18 houses last month.
18 houses that you saw?
Yeah, I saw some of them. I saw all of them.
Yeah.
Where did the drive come for y'all in the very beginning? Do y'all come from money? Do y'all come from parents who was in the real estate game? Do y'all come from wealth?
Me a little bit. I grew up in the hood. My dad, he was kind of like, you, no debt, no credit cards, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So he always poured into me that I need to build wealth. I need to get life insurance, stay away from credit cards, save your money. So I watched him. He was always an entrepreneur. My grandpa was always an entrepreneur. My grandpa owned a cement company making $10,000 a week in the 90s. My dad never had a job.
In the 90s making $10,000 a week?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he was rich.
Yeah.
In the 90s?
In the 90s.
Damn. Okay.
So my father never had a job, always worked for himself. He was the only African-American man to own a building in our downtown area. He sold it last year, so I grew up around apartment buildings, I grew up around bank buildings, I grew up around a lot of real estate. So I was always intrigued of how all these people are making money, who's actually making money. Somebody's living in here, so things like that. So that's how I grew up, had an entrepreneurship all in my blood, so I became an entrepreneur myself.
Did you ever get a job?
Yeah. I quit my job when I was, 19 days after I turned 27?
Okay.
So I leveraged my job to where I am now. Because I always tell people, you don't have to quit your job.
Right.
Leverage your job because having a job is the most important part. You can get money from the banks.
Yeah.
Banks love people who have W-2s, same check every 2 weeks. Banks don't like entrepreneurs. We all know that.
Yeah.
So leverage your job until you're making way more money than you was making at your job and then become a full-time entrepreneur.
Love it.
Yeah, so my thing was I grew up poor, but I grew up with good parents.
Yeah.
And real good, wholesome people, but just were not financially literate at all. I had one of the moms that would, if we made 20, 30,000 as a household, we was gonna spend 35,000 as a household.
Yeah, sound like mine.
And so as a result of that, but my mom always had good credit, always paid bills on time, always took care of business, but we were never in a position to have any abundance around us. And as a result of that, Anthony, it drove me to never want to be in that situation ever again in my life. It's funny, when I finished nursing school, right, I started doing travel nursing. And I was, at my height, I was living off of 30% of my income. I was saving 70.
Come on.
So I had well into the 6 figures saved up, just doing travel nursing, because it was just one of those things. Once I made that decision to not want to live that kind of lifestyle, I was just like, if I just got to live, off the basics, I'm just gonna do that. You know what I mean? And I did. That's what I did before I got into real estate.
Wow. Daddy, talk to us.
Man, listen, man. I grew up, tough neighborhoods. My mom and dad, they had a healthy co-parenting relationship, right? My mom always worked 2 jobs. We was always on Section 8, food stamps. At the time I ain't really think too much about it because I just thought that's just the way it was.
Right.
My dad, he was a street entrepreneur. We're gonna call him a street entrepreneur. My whole life, you know what I mean? Towards the end when I was getting out of high school, that's when he kind of slowed down, caught a case and all that. And I actually moved to Alabama in 2009, went to college, worked at factories, worked at City Trends. And I was always been that type of guy, you know, with a chip on my shoulder, because no other entrepreneurs really in my family like that.
Wow.
I'm the first one to do everything, but I don't use that as an excuse to, you know, break the generational curse. Like, I can stop right now and I'm a legend in my family.
Yeah.
But I want to drive it all the way across the line so that way that everybody else can be like, you know what, I gotta do what Uncle Keith do, or I gotta do what, you know, Diddy do, or whatever. So yeah.
Do y'all think we in the black culture as men, black men, lack education to be successful like y'all?
I don't think we lack it. It's not attractive to us. It's starting to get more attractive because the rappers are talking about it. We look up to the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know, everything we listen to, everybody we see, everybody that has money that we have access to sell drugs,
Yeah.
play sports,
Yeah.
are rappers.
Yeah.
So that's all we know. But good thing is, a lot of rappers are starting to transition into entrepreneurs. So as you can see, like Rick Ross is starting to hang out with
Yeah.
Grant Cardone. Rick Ross is starting to hang out with Him 500. So they starting to see that. So now they trying to tap into what they're doing. Because, you know, in the pandemic, rappers weren't making the money.
Right.
They couldn't perform.
Right.
So they had to do a transition. So
Yeah.
I think we have access to the information. It's just not attractive as it was. But now it's starting to turn.
I got to keep it real. I think culturally, man, we've been, trained on how to kill each other. We've been trained on how to disrespect our women. We've been trained on how to hurt each other.
Ooh.
That's what we've been trained culturally to, aspire to, respectfully. And I think, if you've been trained that and indoctrinated with that over time, bro, even me, I grew up thinking that's what's up. And so I had to kind of like get into books to kind of like detox my thinking. You know what I'm saying? And it was through books that I feel like was my gateway to new levels of success.
Strong.
I think
Because I've always made money. I made money as a youngin', but I made money the wrong way as a youngin'. You know what I mean? And so now I'm making money, in a way where I ain't got to look over my shoulder.
It makes sense. I think that, as far as the culture, I think we so in love with getting rich and not wealthy. I think that right there has been hurting us, and it still hurts us to this day. Because most of the rappers, like you said, Rick Ross, you got guys like that that's starting to push the wealth. But at the same time, it just, nobody want to get wealthy. Everybody in love with the things you can see.
Flashy.
Everybody want to brag on the things you can see. When it comes to wealth, it's invisible.
Yeah.
So once we get in love with the things that, and taking care of the things that you can't see,
Yeah.
then I think that the culture will move forward.
I was just saying that on my show the other week that the reason why I got into debt and the reason why I don't do debt outside of real estate, which is why I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna have this conversation with Grant Cardone. He's been ready to get on my show, but y'all was like, dang, how am I gonna have this conversation with Grant? You know what I'm saying? But now, I as I have evolved, I have said, you know what? Debt when it comes to getting into real estate, I'm all for it. But now getting into debt,
We happy you turned the corner, by the way.
Yeah.
I said real estate, brother. I didn't say
That's it. I'm with that too, though.
You know what I mean? Real estate. I'm with it.
I'm with that.
Some people may be like, "Whoa, Anthony," but wait, hold on. We talking about Anthony O'Neal.
Yeah.
Anthony O'Neal.
I'm with that, though.
With real estate.
I'm with that.
Especially within the black community. Because within the black community, we're not going to be having just, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million just sitting aside to go pay cash for real estate. But I do believe, which I see y'all teaching it. You still got to be wise on how much real estate you even get to make sure that you can handle it, right? But it's like, man, I feel as if y'all are right. Like culture never even taught us how to even properly build wealth. I remember culture taught me, get a credit card, go get the 22s on the wheels.
Maxed out the credit card.
Here we go.
Max it out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get the
Free
duty
money.
first purse because it's free money. And you only got to pay back $30 a month, but you got all this stuff. And then when I woke up and I looked up at the bill, I'm $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. I'm like, wait, what just happened? And then when I was really into the credit score, my credit score was low because I had maxed out, but no one said like, yo, you need to keep your stuff if you're going to do the credit route below this amount, but I'm banking all the payments on top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I wish Jay-Z would have been talking about wealth when he was Hove back in his younger days. But now he's talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now people want to listen. Now we see your Rick Rosses with the Grant Cardones, the Snoop Dogg's now with the Grant Cardones.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing these rappers now starting to really get more so into the business side of things. But man, I'm like, we still got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
We just in the beginning.
And I think it's going to be guys like us
Yeah.
who make a lot of people say, well, Anthony, why did you buy the Bentley? I said, because I wanted to show this younger generation, number one, I wanted a Bentley. You know, number two, I also want to show the younger people, you don't have to be a rapper, an athlete, or a superstar to have what you desire. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can be debt-free, consumer debt-free, and drive the real nice cars.
That's true.
Live in a real nice house. You can be black and be a businessman, not be drowning in debt. And I didn't have to rob, steal, or be stingy with my information to get it.
Right.
I can go and have that stuff. And it's like, man, one thing I love about y'all, because sometimes I'll come in y'all room just to listen in between while I'm working, because you all are dropping information.
Right.
And man, I've learned a couple of things from you all. I was like, man, I need to run that play. Okay, but whoa, I need to run that play. Because even me being a money guy, I can still learn money moves.
Right.
And I really do appreciate what y'all are doing.